actually.
That was a brilliant intro as well. You nailed it. These are cool. These are nifty.
Yeah, good.
Alright, now we're on.
All right.
Well, Corey, it's fair to say we're back into the action on the commentary, and we've seen Benno Bodendijk take his 5th wicket as he continues from the Sportline end. Corey? We've seen Benno Bodendijk take his 5th wicket as he continues from the Sportline end. Got Rob Van Oostrum alongside us, Corey's in between us, Paddy G alongside, Brian Outscholters around. Life's good, Corey. Life's good, and a hell of a spell of bowling from Benno.
Piercy, absolute pleasure to be here. Coming back to the home of the Crows. It's been a few years, and it's lovely to be out in the sun today. Benno, 5 wickets, Piercy.
Yeah, he's bowled very well. I would say some of the shot selection has been, questionable. Probably the word. 62 for 9.
Yeah.
In the 13th over. This could be over quickly. If the likes of Teo Warborough get off to a bit of a flyer when the batting happens, Corey.
Yeah, look, they need a few more runs to VVV as Benno comes steaming in, maybe for 6, and gently blocked. But no, we want to say a big thank you to Rob and Ryan. They've invited us back, Pierce. I wasn't sure if we'd get the invite, but we got the message late last night. Fellas, you want to come commentate a HBS game? And Rob, it's a pleasure to be back.
Yeah, it's great to have you guys alongside on this beautiful day at Kraaienhout, the home of cricket. The home of the Crows.
I'm not sure it's the home of cricket, but I like it all the same.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what VOC will say about that as Benno comes in, and that's going to be wide outside the off, and it is a slow wide given by the umpire. So, boys, 9 for 62. What's a competitive total here?
Look, I'm going to have to say that 62 might be competitive with the way that this sort of bowling's been going. Off cutter being signalled there by the facing batter. Look, in all honesty, Corey, this is obviously well under par, but as you'd probably expect from a struggling Hofklasse side, and as opposed to a team in HBS that is still challenging for titles in both the T20 and the 50 over Topklasse, Rob.
Yeah, we're doing quite well this season, I must say. But last few weeks was a bit of a letdown. Some losses.
Well, you are a doc, Rob, so if you can get on top of the pandemic, that would be great. As Steph comes in and
Oh, yes, and then blame it on the guy at the other end.
And just to go back to Ngangta, 50 first-class matches in the Ranji Trophy. As Stefan Vink comes in, that's wide outside off, with a first-class average of 40 and 7 first-class 100. So obviously a serious player.
Yeah. You've got some good homework done.
So Mr. Google is on fire today, Corey.
No, stayed up last night, got my notes for this game ready.
Yeah. I know.
Stefan Vink with the slower ball. And it's been given a no ball, Corey. It's been given a no ball. So I think we're going to see a free hit here.
Is it free hits in T20s, Piercy?
According to what I'm seeing from the umpire at the far end, it is a free hit, Corey. Where do you think he'll be looking to target here, Rob?
To keep them under 70 would be quite nice. Yes.
What about the ball, Rob? Where do you think he's going to hit the free hit?
Sorry, Dutch English. Rob hasn't spoken English for a while, you can tell. Oh, he's gone for the scoop.
Yeah,
that was quite extravagant.
He's moved too much there, Piercy. You need to be a bit still when you scoop. You got to keep your head still. He just moved a little bit too far. I'm getting some compliments from Ryan out in the back of the box, but no, he just moved a little bit too much. He should have kept his base. People want to get their body outline. You've got to keep your body in line with the ball. As Stefan Vink comes in, trying to wrap this innings up, and that's punched lovely down the ground for 1. And keep going through the wickets today, Pierce.
Yeah, well, we had that run out, and then Navjit Singh took a catch off Benno as well, so Mirage was dismissed for a duck. And Asad Zulfikar's twin brother, Ahmad Zulfikar, was dismissed, caught and bowled by Stefan Vink, Corey, as well. He went for 2. S. Ahmed was also dismissed by Benno, and again, one of his 5 wickets for a second ball duck. Chowdhury is currently 2 off 3 not out, and Rahil Ahmed's brother, Rahan Ahmed, was dismissed for 6 off 6 balls, including 1 massive 6, Corey, and it was quite a shot.
Yeah, it was a beautiful shot. So VVV showing that there's quite a good depth in Dutch cricket. Good to have the Hoofde class of teams playing top class of teams. And Benno, I imagine this would be his last over, looking for 6 for. And that is well played late. But it's good to see some of the young fellas coming through at HBS. Pierce, we coached here a couple of years ago. Benno was an up-and-comer, and now he's taking fifers in top classer, fifers in T20. It's good to see HBS still promoting that youth.
Corey, it's always stupendous to see the youth here at HBS going so well. And it's great to have a couple of good pros in, Klein and Warburton, to help them through that period. I don't know if, I think you and I had done our dash. So it's nice to see 2 excellent pros here now doing their thing alongside this quite heavily. Run out? No, yes, no. Maybe something to work on for the VVV guys, but great to see the youth getting the opportunity and a very homegrown built side, Rob.
Yeah. We are quite happy with this team this year. Young Martijn Scholte coming in, Reece Mason finally, he really is stepping up this year, getting some scores. Navjit Singh is the exponent really this year, outstanding with the bat and a little bit helpful with the ball as well. Benno Bodendijk stepping up with his not so dangerous bowling, but quite on target and taking lots of wickets. So
Yeah, it looks like you found the right balance between youth and senior players. You have those youth players playing with Ferdy Vink, Tobias Vise, Wesley Baracey. They're not here today, a couple of them, but it's good to have a good mix of youth and seniors, isn't it, Rob?
Yeah, definitely. Ferdy, Tope, playing a senior role, but not that old, so they should be able to continue for a few more years and guide the new coming youngsters who are currently playing in the seconds as well. So, yeah.
As Benno comes loping in here, it's a full ball and it's swatted to mid-off, and that'll be a dot ball. But no, I think I was speaking to your overseas earlier in the year, Rob, and they were saying it feels like it's a rebuilding phase this year for HBS, but I think they've overachieved and they've done really, really well, fighting for a final spot, undefeated in the T20s. They must be pretty happy with their efforts, and one more big push, it could be a big end for HBS in the year.
Yeah. One more victory tomorrow, and some help of you guys to underperform a bit tomorrow.
Don't you worry, we're very good at underperforming every few weeks. We've had a bit of a topsy-turvy year ourselves. We came out the blocks pretty hot at VOC, and then Pierce Fletcher took over the captaincy for 5 games. How did that go, Pierce, the first 5 games as captain?
Look, Corey, I'd say it wasn't just down to my lack of poor captaincy that we lost those games, but at the end of the day, it always falls on the skipper.
As that is hit hard to Ryan Klein, and that's well fielded. That's proper fielding there from Ryan Klein. The big man bowls north of 130. He has a Dutch passport, played for Netherlands A this year, and I think he'll be staying in the Netherlands. And with your overseas, Rob, have you re-signed them? How does that go for the club? Do you start talking to your overseas now about next year, or are they going to be around, or is there new people on the radar? How does it work?
No, obviously we're very happy with the way they performed this year and fitted into the club and did the youth coaching, etc., etc. So we definitely are willing to get them back next year, and I think the next 1-2 weeks, things will be settled, hopefully.
Oh, that's good for the boys then. That's brilliant to hear. And I'm sure they'll be looking forward to come back when the clubhouse can open and better Dutch weather. It's been a bit wet this summer, and I'm sure they'll enjoy their second year here again if it all works out.
Just don't want to run away from that, but Beno finishes his spell with 5 for 15 off 4 overs, my apologies. A superb spell of bowling, really forcing the VVV batters to try and take him on with fielders up in the ring. Very impressive spell, Rob.
Yeah, especially when start of the season he was in the team as a batsman, and the umpire has given this one.
And that's stumped, mate.
Yeah, it's young Martijn Scholt getting his second victim of the day and finishing up the innings. So
yeah, that does bring an end to innings, Rob. So VVV only on 69, and good to see the viewing numbers have gone up. Wesley Barasi's chimed in and said, "Why are the hounds on the mic?" And we've got Cricket Row here watching in France. Great commentary from Rob, Corey, and Pierce. So thanks for all joining us, and we're going to stay live on the air during this innings break. We are going to talk all the way through it.
Yes,
Rob's like super excited, but VVV bowled out for 69, interesting number, and they'll be a little bit disappointed to have not made a few more, Piercy. The old red mist, as we like to say.
Look, they will be disappointed, Corey, but I tell you what, there was a little bit of fight shown there by that last wicket pair. They put on 8, but they showed a little bit of stickability, and with where they're sitting in the Hofklasse standings, as I pull that up, in 6th, it clearly shows that they're a little bit challenged. But as we see Beno Bodendijk walking off in the distance, he's taken 5 wickets. Congratulations to him as the whole team clap him off, and I'm sure we'll see an exciting chase come up, and I'm no doubt that HBS will look to chase this as quickly as possible, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's done within 6 overs if I know HBS well, which I actually do. So we'll have a look at a couple of the fixtures for tomorrow, actually, Rob, is what we were thinking. Have a look at some of these top class of fixtures, and maybe you can run your eye over them with us and give us your runners and riders for tomorrow as you move. So there's a couple of games. First of all, which is ACC versus Punjab. Punjab obviously settled at the top of the table against ACC, away at ACC. I'm assuming you're going with a Punjab victory there.
It would be that's a no-brainer, really. Yeah.
No, absolutely. They've performed really well, both home and away this year. Not actually dropped that many games throughout the season. A total of 12 wins out of their 17 fixtures so far. They'd be looking to make it 13 wins. So moving into that next game, probably quite an interesting game potentially. Dosti versus Sparta. Obviously not much riding on it, but for a team like Dosti, they've shown a little bit of fighting capabilities over the last few weeks, especially against us. We made really hard work of that game. We were able to get the win, but tough game. Do you see Sparta still getting the victory there, or can you see Dosti getting their first win in a couple of years?
What I heard when I was on holiday, that Bukhari wasn't playing.
That's correct. He's away on holiday.
So if he's back, I should go for Sparta. And this guy Garnet Tar.
Garnet Tar, one of the great names in the league. Garnet Tar.
Yeah. Then I would go for Sparta if they both play.
Yeah, I think unfortunately, Pierce, Dosti's long wait for that elusive W. They're going to have to wait through the winter and maybe even next year as well. They're just lacking a bit of backbone, Piercy.
Look, I'm sure they'll bring some overseas in next year. I think there's relegation year, but I should say, having played against them twice this year, they've been very much up for the battle in all their games, and they've tried their heart out with a side that has probably struggled. But they keep putting a team out every week, and I tell you what, it's a lot easier said than done, considering that I've seen teams like ourselves sometimes struggle to put 2 teams out. So quite impressive that they've been able to get a team out this year.
Pierce, just to slowly interrupt you before we go through our fixtures, do you think that we should go out there and do a pitch report? Would these wireless mics walk us out somewhere? Do you think we would be able to get far enough? Do you think they'll still work?
I think we do it maybe 5 minutes before the start of play, Corey. I think right now we'll finish our top class preview for tomorrow, and then we'll meander our way out to the middle and see what we can do. But we move on to probably one of the more important games, Excelsior versus VRA. Rob?
Yeah.
Your thoughts on who takes the victory there, obviously being played at Excelsior's home ground?
Yeah, I'm going to go for Excelsior, obviously. That's vital to our chances to get through to the playoffs.
But you're a commentator, Rob. You can't just pick a side for HBS. You've got to sit on the fence here.
Yeah.
Who's going to win? If your cricket mind goes into it and not your loyalty,
both my cricket mind and loyalty would go for Excelsior, obviously, Corey. They are really suited to playing on that specific wicket, and they will make life hard for VRA.
Well, I do have news just coming in. Rens van Troost will be in Croatia for the game. He's decided to nip off for a little holiday, and that does weaken Excelsior. So I'm going to go VRA with the chocolates, which would mean the end of HBS's year and maybe even our year at VOC. But yeah, I have a feeling VRA might get up over there. Yeah,
look, it's going to be a tough game. I tell you, from a cricketing perspective, it's nice to see Ben Cooper back in runs last week. Obviously, that's not what the HBS viewers will be hoping for, but it's nice to see him back in the runs. I tell you what, Excelsior at home, always tough to beat. You've still got Lorenzo Ingram and Umar Baker, who have been very, very good there this year. I tell you what, I feel like Excelsior might just win it in a very low-scoring thriller. Heading into our last 2 games, we'll go the game that's being played just over the way. HCC versus VOC. Obviously, no bias from us, Rob, but
game of the round, boys. Game of the round.
Probably one of the biggest games of the round. Absolutely.
Game of the year, maybe.
Potentially. Look, hopefully there's no slippery artificials for Hitter Overdyke to fall over on. But Rob, which way do you see this one going?
Yeah, this is going to be a tough one. I would settle for a tie, boys.
Settle for a tie?
Yeah. What's
Ooh, actually, that might be the best possible result for HBS. But yeah, it'll be interesting. HCC, good team, good batting, good bowling, disciplined. But last week we saw live on the air, they got a bit nervous and they wanted a rained out game, which tells me mentally they're a bit nervous, Rob. So I think VOC is going to win a very tight one tomorrow. And I think that...
annihilating our chances then.
No, well, actually, if we win, do HBS still have a chance?
No. I don't think so.
Sorry, Rob. But it should be a good game anyway.
Yeah. Always a good game away at HBS. Finally, last game of the round, Rob, and I know which way your colours are nailed, but HBS versus VCC here at Crying Out. It's obviously a must-win for HBS, and hoping that results go their way, but how do you see their chances against a refreshed VCC with both Kingma and Van Beek back with the new ball?
Yeah, but to be honest, and now I'm talking as a cricket knower. How do you say?
Just a knowledgeable cricket man.
Yeah, exactly. I would give VCC a bit more chance than HBS. HBS always difficult to bounce back from difficult matches and losses. It's getting in our minds. I would, have to go for VCC. I hope HBS, of course, but I think that VCC will pull this one.
It's going to be tough against that new ball pairing. I mean, the likes of Julian DeMay, he's been thrust up the top of the order facing Vivian Kingma and Logan Van Beek. I mean, we've worked a lot with Julian, and happy he's opening the bang. But that's a big ask for the tiny left-handed batsman to make a few against them. I think VCC will take the chocolates, Pierce.
Yeah, especially with Buster Later coming in first change bowler and a real hit the deck sort of guy, really try and hit guys in the head. I think they might be struggling, but you never know. HBS, when their backs are up against the wall, that's when they like to come out. So maybe tomorrow's the day for Wesley Baresi to get his first 100 of the year. So I'm going to go a little HBS victory with Baresi 130 not.
Yeah, like it. Navjeet Singh 72. But shall we go for a walk to the middle? We'll see if these little mics work. We're going to do a little pitch report. Julian, see if you can hear us.
Do we need a key?
I'm not too. Oh, we do need a key.
I've got a key, by the way.
You've got a key, Corey?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got the key, so we're walking out. We might come on the viewfinder soon. Julian, give us a thumbs up if you can still hear us. And we're going live interactive cricket. HBS pitch, and played many games here over the years. I think, can they still hear us? We're probably on the camera now. Oh, too far. Okay, if we stand out here and we look at the pitch from here, Rob, where's the scoring zones at HBS that you like?
Yeah, to be honest, in the past, it was really difficult to get some runs, to get the ball out of the inner circle.
The 30-yard ring, is it?
No.
Can you hear us now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So playing back here in the so has it always been artificial, Rob, or did they have turf back here?
About 10 years ago we had turf, and yeah, only in the second half of the season it became short enough to get value for your shots. And in the beginning of the season, first month, it was so difficult to get the ball out of the circle, so you had to go aerial, and with some visé influence, yeah, we always managed to get 200 on board, but 200 was a winning score.
Yep.
But, yeah, no matter how we bowled, yeah.
Yeah, and what about you, Pierce? You played here. What was it like bowling here? Obviously, it's an artificial outfield. For our viewers that are watching, it is all artificial, one of the few grounds in Holland. Running in, how was that on the knees, the ankles, or did you actually find some good rhythm?
No, I never found it easy bowling here. Loved bowling here, loved bowling for the HBS. New mat as well, so the mat is new as of a couple of years ago, I believe, as well. Rob, it's not the same mat that we had here 4 years ago, I think it was now, that I was playing here. But again, always tough on the body and the ankles. It's always quite hard, but I always found that the wicket was actually quite true, Corey. Got a little bit in it for both pace bowlers, and even just the medium pace is just a little bit of nibble. So yeah, always enjoyable to come here and play some cricket. And yeah, like I say, not the high scoring ground it was maybe. Again, even just 2 years ago.
I think when you were playing here, the artificial was still the old artificial, and it was like concrete. It was there was no bounce whatsoever. It was short, and it was the quickest in the country. So 300 was a par score.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah, and definitely not that nice to the knees and ankles. No.
Yeah, no, it was never ideal in the twos. I don't think we ever got close to 300 in the twos when I was playing here, unfortunately, Rob. That was probably one of our more fabled years. Yeah, it was quite tough. We were in the Eerste Klasse, Corey. We in that third division in Holland, and it's always a tricky division. Back probably in the fourth division now, but we were playing 50 over cricket, and it was quite tough every week when you were playing a lot of first teams. So Quivive back down there at that point, and yeah, I will say it was quite difficult. We had a young team with a few old heads. Rob got injured like he always likes to do once a year. So we didn't have him.
One match a year, one injury.
I think you'll remember, Corey, that Reinout Scholte ended up playing basically the whole season for the first team. Yep. And yeah, we just didn't have those experienced guys to help our young players through. But what's great now is that you guys have got that, and you're bringing those youth guys through in that second team, and you know, we've seen those older heads still popping up and playing a few games here and there, and it's really making a difference at this club, Rob.
Yeah, the old guys would normally, if you call them, the Sjoerd, Werman and the Razul Abed, and even the older guys from the Zami, they're always willing to fill in the gaps in the second, so that's a really nice asset to have. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So HBS with a lot of depth, and they probably should get the win today and top the group. And does anyone actually know who plays who in the quarterfinals? Is it Group A versus Group C or Group B versus D? Does anyone?
I don't know.
No, absolutely not a clue, Corey. And let's be fair, I don't really mind because HBS are going to win it because we're going to play every game at home from now on, and no one knows how to beat us at home.
Yeah.
So we've seen the KNCB side warming up. Who are we expecting to open the batting here? I'm seeing Reece Mason in the nets over there.
Funny fact about Reece Mason, holds a German passport. Is he going to be sending Steve Knox a message?
Yeah, Noxie has come calling, and I'm sure we'll see him soon enough.
Well, it's actually something he could look at. I mean, the German border, not too far away, and Reece has shown this year he's worked on his batting a lot, Piercy. He's come a long way, young Reece Mason. So is he expected to open the batting, or will it be Navji and Teo Walbura?
Well, from what I'm seeing Reece Mason with the pads and the lid on. So expecting him to walk out, and I'd assume Teo will open up. If I know anything like HBS, I love sending their pros out early to get into their work, Corey.
Yeah, one would say Teo and Ryan, maybe a poor man's Pierce and Corey, or a better man's, probably a better man's. They both look better than us.
Oh, they're definitely better looking than us. Whether their stories will be as fabled, Corey.
Fabled story, that's the word of the day, isn't it?
It is. Whether their stories are as good as the stories we had when we were at this club, probably yet to be seen.
Shall we go into some of those stories? Shall we, while we're on the break,
I'm not sure.
Shall we bring up some of those stories of the Sunday parties, the Zami parties at HBS? Is probably one of the great social clubs. And our good friend Kenny, he was a good man, and he's not at the club anymore either. And yeah, really enjoyed my few years here, and it's good to be back, Piercy, in the sun and near the beach and just soaking it all in. I think my forehead's... How's it going? Is it already red?
Your forehead is well on its way to being crispened up for this afternoon.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. You won't believe the amount of sunscreen I put on, and I will still get a red lid.
Yes, Corey, it is well known that your lid is absolutely shocking.
So, Piss, is there any other T20s actually going on today? There must be.
Yes, there is, Corey. Obviously, where we are right now this is an early start.
Is it?
Yeah.
So we're off to another ground after, are we?
Yeah, we are. We're heading over all the way down to Amsterdam to watch VRA versus Quick. But yeah, we might not be on the commentary for that one. What I can tell you though, in the Overhans Klasse, it's also live at the moment, Corey.
That's my class, isn't it?
Yes, it is your class. KNCB 2 are taking on Red and White 2. And I can tell you that KNCB 2 are currently 116 for 1 after 15.5 overs, Corey.
Wow,
and M. Singh is 82 not out of 48 balls with 5 fours and 7 sixes.
That's pretty
striking at 170.
That's very impressive indeed. So it's good live action all around the country today. And
look, this is the sort of cricket I want to be playing, and that's the Overhans class. A little bit of 40 over cricket, midday start. That sounds like a bit of me.
Yeah, and if they chase this down in 8, 9, 10 overs, it will be an early finish here today. You would think HBS will knock off these 69 runs and top their group, meaning safe passage to the quarterfinals. Is there any other games around the grounds, Piercy?
Look, we can maybe preview a couple, Corey, but none have actually started as such. So we've got a lot of 3 o'clock starts. So Excelsior versus Hermes at Excelsior. So that'll be an interesting game, I think. But Excelsior probably expected to get to the victory there.
Well, it depends if their players are on holiday or not. I mean, Excelsior have had a lot of players go on holiday recently, and I mean, when they're at full strength, the yellow steam train, I like to call them, Excelsior are a hell of a team, but when they're missing a couple of cogs in that machine, they are obviously a little bit weaker. Their depth gets tested. Piercy, I can say some good news here. The sun's shining and the umpires are walking back out, so this chase is about to get underway.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to this chase. It should be exciting. First 6 overs of power play.
Yeah, let's get on the... we're not allowed to gamble. Obviously, we're in the cricket systems. But if you were a punting man with some monopoly money, what's the score at the end of the power play?
Oh, look, Corey, I expect... I'm going to go 48. Corey, 48 for 1.
Ooh, who's out?
Mason.
All
Caught it mid-off.
I'm going to go 2
Yeah.
for 51.
Yeah.
Now, there's one man walking out that I want to talk about. Mr. Teo.
Teo Warborough, yeah.
Teo Warborough. Unbelievable talent. Made a lot of runs this year, Piercy. He's put on his Instagram this week that he was the leading run scorer, but we do know Max O'Dowd is a couple hundred head. But how exciting is it to have this sort of talent come across the season, display the amount of runs and technique that he's shown in top class this year?
Look, Corey, I've played a lot of pros in my time here in the
And
top class.
you've gotten a few out as well, haven't
Yeah,
you, Piercy?
look, including Mr. Warborough's middle stump. I don't know, was replaced after that day. But look, he is clearly a class operator, Corey. He's very, very technically correct. Looks to hit in really strong zones in the ground.
Yep.
And just has that real mind over matter chase.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one thing HBS have done well in the past.
Corey, I just want to hold you there. I've just had a message in from good friend and colleague Max O'Dowd, who believes that this chase will be all over and done within 4 overs.
Sorry,
Corey.
did you say colleague? Because yesterday there was a bit of red mist between the New Zealanders at the kennel.
I'm not sure what you're talking about, Corey. I was not in the country at that point, so can't possibly comment.
And do you know who has the new ball here, Piercy?
From what I can see, it's number 11, Rashid. From what I've heard, he is quite the seam bowler. As we see Kalu there looking to get proceedings underway. Warborough will be on strike there with Mason.
What I can say, VVV's outfit is sensational. I'm a big fan of the sort of the navy blue with a stream of red through it. They look very sharp, and they'll need to get on a bit of a barnstormer here to make a game of this. They're going to have to get Teo out very early, and Teo's been a little bit short of runs maybe in the last few weeks. He'll be looking at this opportunity, maybe a nice little 40 not out.
Yeah,
it's an opener in a small chase. That's always a nice little touch, is it?
We're welcomed by Ryan Skolter into the commentary box, Corey, as we get the innings underway.
Great to have you guys around, guys. One of the better commentators in the Netherlands. Already confirmed by Corey.
Yeah, look. Yeah,
I like
Corey,
the self-confidence.
Yeah, Corey loves the self-confidence.
Yeah, I like the maybe not the best total by VVV, but there's a nice development going on with that club in Amsterdam. They have some youth teams now, and they start to build a bit more senior teams, which is a good development for that Amsterdam area with ACC, VVV, Quiviv, with a lot of senior teams. 9.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. As it comes in, and that's a thickish edge, and that might run around for the first boundary in this chase. And it's pretty well bowled, Ryan.
Yeah, it is well bowled, but it's definitely the ball Tyre's going for. He's always looking for that area in front of the wicket towards cover, extra cover.
I've got a question.
Like you said, he didn't score a lot of runs the last couple of innings, so maybe that's the point with looking for his timing and his correct footwork. He had a little injury on his groin, so that might be some stiffness in getting really forward.
Well, hopefully he's got someone to rub that out. Ryan, I've got a question for you. You
always have questions. Eh?
I love the commentary is about the questions, and
yeah,
I'll call this ball in before I give it to you as Teo on strike. And that's full wide, and that is glorious. My word, Ryan, what a shot!
Yeah, it's an excellent shot. This is his strength, really moving forward, putting his head down and shoulder in, and driving with sheer power.
And there goes the oh no.
Camera's done, a little wind here at HBS. Hopefully it still works, but we definitely have some...
It might be in the Guggler, boys.
Yeah, hopefully people can still hear us, so we do it without any pictures at the moment. What was the poll and the question?
Oh, we'll wait.
We'll wait there. I'll go into full radio commentary mode whilst we do this. So we're going to see Rashid run away from us here at the Sportland end, Corey. And he's in there, and it's just a point, and a good little single taken, and that will bring Mason onto strike.
Okay, yes, we are still live audio, no feed. Okay, Ryan, you're ex-chairman of HBS. You've played Dutch cricket. You're very knowledgeable. I've got a question for you. You've signed some overseas batsmen in the past. Who ranks out of Zach Elkin, Sean Gomes, Jaron Morgan, and Teo Warborough? Who is your number 1? As that ball is well bowled and beaten Reece Mason outside off. Yeah, I'll give you those names again. Zach Elkin, Sean Gomes, Jaron Morgan, and Teo Warborough. 4 batsmen in the last 5 years. They've all been phenomenal in their own way.
Yeah.
Who is your number 1?
You have to make a choice.
You do have to make. This is what the question is. And that is one of the toughest choices. I mean, I could throw Corey Rucker's name in there, but I think he'd be bottom of the 5.
He's definitely bottom of the 5. So we see that one bowled again, and it's gone through to the keeper. A little polite appeal. But instead of just saying which was the best,
Yeah.
which is the one that you loved watching the most then? Maybe not an easier question,
No,
but
it's not an easy question. But looking at the explosive side of it, Jaron Morgan, left-hander,
Good friend, Jazza.
very strong in his one-day game. Remember what is his innings at Quick, and great fielder as well.
Yeah, unbelievable. We just roved around that mid-on as that ball's beaten outside off as we try to get your
Tayo,
live pitches back.
Tayo is more traditional but very powerful,
Yep.
and I think he's second in line. I'd like to seeing Jaron Morgan here in the middle was something different we had seen before.
Yep.
Zach Elkin, I was impressed with the fact that he scored runs in every game almost. He's a fighter.
Yeah.
Maybe technically not the most fluent, but you couldn't get him out. And he was fighting, and that's...
He was hungry, wasn't he?
Yeah, a different type of talent. Jaron and Tayo more natural.
And then Sharny.
Zach and Sharn, of course. Yeah, Sharn was lovely to watch, stylish, left-hander again.
Yep.
And the unfortunate thing with Sharn was, maybe that's why I'm not rating him as high as Tayo and Jaron. He scored a lot of runs, but he didn't win a lot of games.
Okay.
He scored. I remember his first season or first 2 seasons over here, scored about 800 runs and we relegated.
Oh, okay.
So there
I
was
understand.
nobody around him.
Yeah.
Which is a pity, because he was the center of the batting all season.
Just didn't get any support that year.
Yeah, and that the same thing happened the last couple of years. The last time he was down here, performing well, but didn't bring us home too many times. I think I remember.
But nice to
lovely batsman, all in a different style. It's a different style between the South African approach and the Australian approach.
As we have the second over coming in now, and runs in a little bit of a whippy action, and that's blocked into the offside. Ryan.
so here we go. We're working on our technical difficulties, so we apologise for the lack of picture.
The camera, Robert says there's a blue screen, but the camera just fell off and is almost in the ditch.
We'll steal
the standard.
Yeah, we'll steal them.
This is just a standard.
Yeah,
of course, you have a blue
standard
screen.
of HBS cricket, isn't it? Yeah.
So we're going to try to fix it. Short ball.
Yeah. You
Quickly on this. Well, it's almost a front foot pull shot.
You can't bowl there, can you? Really? And not at that pace. With fine leg and third man out, it's just unfortunately just
Corey,
quite poor.
you're just to mention and I watch your innings against HBS together with Max. Max was brilliant in control.
He's unbelievable.
You were the innovator and creative one.
Mm.
And I always recognize you as the innovator. Remember you hitting balls over point from your front foot. Full blade. Yeah, incredible shots, because it's
as that's cut away, and that should be maybe 2, and they will turn for 2. But please, Ryan, continue.
Yeah. No, but that's one of the hardest shots. If you see where the direction the ball coming from, and you hit it almost, what is it?
Yeah, splicing in front of point or behind point.
Yeah, that's the opposite direction of where the ball's coming from, which is quite amazing to hit it from that point of view.
I think a lot of the thing comes up from where you're brought up, and being brought up in Perth.
Yeah.
And the ball just, I'll commentate this one coming in, it's a wide down leg side. Growing up in Perth, Ryan, every guy was quick growing up, and the ball was always coming on the offside and flying through. So it was very normal to go over point, and I was always opening, and it's just sort of stuck with me through the years.
Yeah. Okay. But looking at your innovative shot, pedal sweep, on-pace bowlers. I watched the 100 last week. You might have as well.
Interesting
a guy
concept.
who even was in a position to pedal it down leg side and over 45 on the leg side. And he ended up playing it over third man. That's quite amazing. Ball watching and timing of the ball. So he just kept his bed down. And do you play that shot?
Yeah, I got one away, I think, at the ECL. The thing is, when you shape up like that, you stand front on, you stay as still as possible. And then it's like the bat's almost a shovel. It's out in front of you. So then if the ball's on the offside, you just shovel it over the other way. What you see a lot of people do, they move too much. They're worried about getting hit.
Their head is still in the movement?
Yeah, your head shot by Teo Wahlberg. Oh, Pierce, you want to call that shot in?
Mate, there's nothing more to say, and that's just class. That's just sat back on the, he sat on his back foot and just carved it with a full face through cover point. They've got 2 fielders in that region, and literally neither of them moved. And Ferdy Vink just did the clean-up work and threw it back to them, and that's 4 more to Teo.
Yeah, he's a great timer. And what I like is, and especially for the youngsters who can't watch at the moment, but he hits the ball underneath his eyes.
Yeah, late.
And not in front, but late. And
Yeah.
that's why he times it so well.
Yeah, looking at that nice bat lift there. It's a shame we can't show our viewers at the moment, as the score is none for 22 and Teo's on 19 of them with 3 extras. So he's made all the runs so far. The bowler comes in and professionally, a bit of Ricky Ponting in that lead. But yeah, Ryan, when it comes to all those scoops and ramps and things like that, it's the same principles as when you're playing a driver cut. You need to be ridiculously still and confident. I think a lot of people still, when they play the ramp, they get their head out of line because they're worried about getting hit.
Yeah.
If you get hit, you get hit. Take it.
And it looks, you might think so as well, it looks like if the batsmen do play those shots, they even watch the ball closer than playing a regular drive or anything.
I think
because
so.
they really watch it underneath there, because they're in such a different position with bat and legs playing those shots.
Well, it's just it's with the times as well, because the game's changing all the time now, and if you can get the ball behind yourself and then maybe mid-off or mid-on up, it really, if you can become a 360 player, you're messing with the opposition field.
It's difficult for a captain to set a field like when you were playing with Max. Max was more in front of the wicket, and you were looking for all sorts of areas to how to set your field.
Yeah, lucky to bat with Maxi, to be honest. Max is conventional and hits the ball hard,
Unbelievable hard.
And the form he's in, for the last 2 years, he's making hundreds every 3rd game all around the world. So batting with someone like that also makes it quite easier for you to play those sort of shots, because you've got the confidence, you'll get the strike back.
Yeah.
And it's a pleasure to bat with Maxi at the moment.
If we look at Max and see him bat, people on the side always look at this different type of backlift. You do see a lot of different type of backlift these days, and people try to suggest it, but the major thing is, of course, is that let it come down straight and put your head still, and it doesn't matter where the bat is coming from. I mentioned to Vief, for example, Julian de Meij, when he was playing against you, you just trapped him bowling, well, sort of length, half volleys outside also, and he's playing a little bit inside out, and every time he's playing straight to the fielder. And he never made this adjustment in his backlift or batting it slightly straighter.
Yeah, the ability to find different zones and find a way to score runs, isn't it, Ryan, at the end of the day? So we're going to see Reece Mason back onto strike. And Rashid, he's bowled all right here, to be fair. A little bit of shape away. He's pitched up again and it's gone past.
Tight run here, Piercy.
Mason's been called through.
They'll get through. So the camera's still there. So we're on radio mode at the moment.
Yeah, look, and
ABC radio. You know, growing up as a kid, Piercy, in Australia, that's how my cricket started. I didn't watch on the TV. I'd be in the workforce. Yes, I worked hard, 10 hours a day in the mines. And, I know you're giggling. True, but you'd have the radio on the background. Jim Maxwell would be bringing it in, and it was bloody awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to see Warber on strike as Rashid runs away from us, Corey, at the sport line end, and he's well in behind that delivery, and loud shout of wait on, but he was never around there and probably could have called no straight off the bat, but nonetheless, crisis averted, no run scored. Rashid's bowled well here, Corey. What do you like about what he's doing?
First thing I like is the kit.
Yeah.
So he's put on the right clothing today. That's a good start.
Yeah.
Second of all, he's got a pretty efficient little runner. It's a little shuffle, but gets a good load up to the crease and explosive at the end, and a little bit of a way swing. And that is nicely driven wide of extra cover, but well mopped up, so it'll be a dot ball. But yeah, he looks like he's got the right mechanics in place, gets it through at a decent pace, and I imagine he's taken a fair few wickets in the Topklasse because he looks more than capable.
Yeah, absolutely, Corey. It's always one of those things that you need in a team, a really good spearhead to your attack, someone that can jag a couple of early wickets, and he's created an early chance of Walborough, wide of that first slip in the first over, as we see him charge on away from us again. And
what a shot straight. That is. Oh, it's whopped up by mid-off, but that's a lovely straight drive through the V, and like what Ryan was telling us before, Teo, probably one of the more technical, conventional players that you've seen over in Holland, and yeah, one hell of a batsman. So the score moves on to none for 26 off 3. Just chasing a small total of 69 today, 70 to win, and HBS will more than likely take the chocolates and be top of the group, Piercy.
Yeah, Gordon, just away to our right there, Corey, you might see a man in an orange shirt just standing behind the scorers.
Oh.
That's your old landlord, Pim van der Vecht.
He's still going, Pim.
Yeah, he's still around. He's still hanging about.
Yeah, had some good times with Pim back in the day. He hosted me for 2 years, living in Cape Town, and was a very, very good host. We had a couple of pecan shandies and a couple of wines some early mornings, me and Pim, and I do miss the man, so I'll be going over to say hello. And I'll tell you what, one thing, I'm wearing jeans today. It is hot in the commentary box,
You've gone for the jean option, and that's never the right decision when you come to the Hague, as we see Warburton walking and advancing down the wicket, and that ball's really kicked off a length, Corey.
Yeah, that has
flown through to the keeper with number 22.
Well, I think Teo's had a look here, and it's still in the power play, and with mid-off and mid-on in the ring, he's thought, I'm going to plant one into the bushes, but you're right, that did take off a length, and he's missed that by a long way, so well bowled. But Teo trying to make mincemeat of this time. I think he wants to wrap it up pretty quickly and get on the pots, Piercy.
Yeah, I do not blame him for that as well, Corey. Nice ice-cold beer on the...
Oh, shot. Sorry to interrupt you, Pierce. Wide slot, and Teo Warburton, he'll be watching this one back later, has absolutely met that through the offside. He has a little smile to himself. He knows that was a good one. And Pierce, I've noticed, Teo, no stickers on the bat. Now, that's usually a sign he wants a sponsorship.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got a few guys in the pipeline that would be happy to sponsor a player of such class as him. So, Teo, you've got me on Instagram. Just feel free to DM me if you need any sponsors. I know there's potentially a Kookaburra sponsorship going around after a certain Netherlands individual may not be up to it.
And that's arguably a better shot, but pretty well fielded by cover, and he'll get a single. Yeah, they're throwing those Kookaburra sponsorships around pretty easily. I heard Scott Edwards was handed one.
Oh, you've got to be joking.
Scott Edwards handed a Kookaburra.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I might send them an email myself if he's getting one.
Absolutely. The way you've been scoring runs this year, you could do whatever you like, Corey. As we get back to the action, are we back online, Ryan?
Yeah, we're back online.
We got the video going.
Yeah, the blue screen
we've not
was
gone as
due
high
to the
this
fact
time,
that
though,
the camera was not on, but it's all.
The camera's not gone as high this time though, so we've got a slightly lowered point of view as Reece Mason looks to
see that's a
punch away in the
difference.
cover.
Yeah, betting style compared to Teo. Bit of lazy in front of his front leg instead of waiting slightly longer and push it underground.
And potentially a little bit static at the crease, Ryan. Just looks a bit too still almost. Doesn't have that pre-ball movement to quite get himself in a position where he can power the ball a bit more.
Yeah, and I'd like him to see him go forward with more confidence.
Yeah, ball's left alone and wide ball given.
Experienced umpires today again. These guys have been along the cricket ground for a long time.
Yeah, there's a few stalwarts in the umpiring department, aren't they? They've been doing Dutch cricket for 15, 20 years umpiring.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And I want to say every one of them is absolutely excellent.
Yeah, I was impressed by the level of Dutch umpiring during the Netherlands Island series.
Yeah, they did well. It was a good series, wasn't it? They did very well.
Rizwan, the other guy. Awesome. And the third umpiring by
Adrian.
Adrian was excellent in the third umpiring. He looked a bit nervous in the middle when his
well,
third game, and he admitted when I spoke about it.
It's a bit different. It's a different beast, isn't it? It's a different beast standing out there in the middle, and you know, games that have got a lot of meaning to them and a lot riding on them. You know, and a decision could change that either way, regardless of having the DRS system. But I thought
I like the quick decisions they made as third umpire. It's compared to soccer, it takes hours. It's unbelievable that soccer that's fishing outside off. Come on, Reece.
I think just a little bit more conviction in that shot. If he looks to hit that ball for 4 instead of just try and touch that.
It's a gentle push far outside off, so it's a free hit almost.
And I think especially now on this HBS outfield, which is very different to the one that myself, Corey, and even yourself played on a few years ago, you don't get that value for shots for just tapping the ball around. You still actually have to look to either hit the ball with a little bit of pace on, which these bowlers potentially don't have, or you have to look to hit the ball hard to try and get that pace on it.
True.
So probably needs to potentially look at his options and how he's going to go about this. I mean, obviously not a regular to T20 opening for this team, with obviously Tobias missing out and having a bit of a rest today, but something that definitely needs to be looked at potentially going forward.
Corey, question for you. Coming from Australia and looking at world cricket, they seem to struggle a bit at this time. The Australians in the West Indies and in Bangladesh finding difficulties on those wickets, spin bowling. Oh,
You've hit a nerve here.
I can see it. I can see it. Stay with us. Stay with us. Don't run away.
Well, look, I'm not going to defend him, but obviously you had a few big players missing: Warner, Smith, Maxwell, Labuschagne.
Where
but
are they?
no, because of COVID and the 100 and things like that. But still, there's no excuse, because the way the Aussies have been playing spin's been a systematic issue for 10 years. It's not the first time I've seen it. And to be honest, with T20 cricket, Australia's never got it. We have never nailed T20 cricket. We've put a lot, obviously, as a new bowler comes in, leg spin, like it, as that's hit wide of cover, and that might go through. Actually, it's brilliant fielding with the foot.
Easy two by Rishi.
Yeah, as a two. But yeah, Australians, we always struggle against spin in Asia, and so I'm not surprised to see the results in Bangladesh. It might sound like a shock, but we haven't won a series over in Asia. I couldn't tell you when the last time we have. I think even England and South Africa put up a better fight in Asia than us. So obviously missing Smith and Maxwell and Warner hurts, but it wasn't acceptable. Bangladesh hammered us.
No, only Mitch Marsh was the only one who scored runs. It was nice to hear that Mitchell Stark's brother was at the Olympics.
Yeah, high jumper. He came fifth.
Fifth, eh?
Yeah, fifth, and that was an Australian record he set. And the height he set would have got a medal in every other Olympics, but this one.
237?
Something like that, yeah. Yeah, so probably a very talented family, and obviously Mitchell Stark's married to Alyssa Healy, and she's the wicketkeeper for the thing, and her dad's Ian Healy, Hall of Famer.
Well, within the family.
So the whole family are doing some things, but yeah. There's a nice little leg spinner on here. Pierce, you have a name for me?
I can work. I was actually just looking at probably one of the more important games, Corey, in the Qui-Vive 2s versus red and white 2s, but I'll pull this back.
Spin and bounce, the last ball. Due to the reaction, keeper didn't take it cleanly. It might have been a thin edge.
We found his name.
This, quite an interesting action coming from.
Oh, it's quite nice, that. I do like that a lot. Leg spinners are gold dust in T20s. S. Ahmed is his name. S. Ahmed.
Like it.
Yeah.
Some pace on the ball as well.
Bit of bounce.
Again, various. It's
looks a lot like a young Shahid Afridi, Corey.
Yeah.
Lala.
He could bowl you. What is it? Almost 85, 87
Shahid Afridi came
miles
in off like
an hour in duckers without any spin. I remember we played those guys in the Champions League, and JJ Esmeyer came in first ball straight on his foot. But Woody Kurtzen was umpiring of South Africa, and he was no, I can't do this. So he gave him not out. Next ball, same place on his foot.
blew it off.
LB, quick Yorkers.
Yeah, some
Great
amazing
challenge
stories
to
from
face
those former years of the Dutch team, Ryan. A lot of national a lot of global tournaments. Those Champions trophies you were saying, we spoke about this briefly a couple of weeks ago. Just saying those Champions trophies when everyone was in the same hotel, just a great opportunity to mix with players that were obviously,
I think
international global superstars almost.
Yeah, and I think that's same with the ICC tournaments. World Cup, of course, it's a big achievement, but World Cups, you're on your own in your own hotel, and sometimes you see the opposition, but everybody's in his own bubble. But during the Champions Trophy, it was probably the highlight of my international career. It's just with all those countries in the same hotel, and sitting in the bar talking about cricket, and even Glenn McGrath and Shane Warne offering help during practice, which was great. And that's more like one big family. You're in the hotel for 2 weeks. We played in Sri Lanka, so there are 3 big stadiums or 2 big stadiums, Colombo and some Sinhalese cricket ground, I think. It was great fun. 2 games in a day. Great cricketers.
Oh, Jesus. Amazing times, and such a golden era of cricket, Corey, those early 2000s. As we see a change in the bowling, and Reece Mason's pushing for 2, and he's been called through, and they'll get it quite comfortably.
And an opportunity for us to face the likes of Akhtar and well, Shade Afridi, and against Sri Lanka, of course, some major bowlers, Muralitharan and
Oh yes, Murali Durali.
Edgar
Ryan,
Shively quick hit him out of the park, which is great. But
Ryan, you're quite well travelled and you've played a fair bit of cricket as the bowler comes steaming in again, and that's tickled away fine, and it'll just be a single to final leg. Ryan, I've got another one for you. Best player you've played with and best player you've come across. So who you competed against? Was there a
in the
batsman?
Netherlands.
It could be anywhere, mate. Like I said, you're a bit of a journeyman. I'm sure you've played in many countries.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you've got one for us, maybe the best player you've come up against and the best player you've played with. And you can't say Rob Van Oostrom because he's looking at me in the background.
Yeah, I think we're just trying to get some comms through to our third man fielder to bring him up in the ring. Yeah, that's a great question.
Difficult questions, Corey. Come on. I remember facing Chris Pringle as a bowler. And I came in and asked for a mid-on leg, and he mentioned Alex Haddad, who was at first slip. Watch it coming. And the ball was just nicked, and he dropped it, fortunately. But he was an amazing bowler. Opposition.
Phenomenal player, Chris Pringle. I think he had a phenomenal season here. If I'm right in thinking, is they just sneak a very easy one here in the ring. Had a phenomenal season here. Took a nine wicket bag, I think, in one of the games. Yeah, phenomenal.
Yeah. But I've seen so many. Rudy Bryson, Rob McCurdy, sheer pace. But West Indian Garfield Charles, phenomenal batsman, but even better bowler. Smoothly running in and just hit your moustache if you'd like to.
That was much like me a couple of weeks ago here.
Playing against, I remember I was fielding at point, sweeping point against cover, against Damien Martin when we played Australia. And he hit the ball, I think, 5 meters away from me and couldn't even catch it when I was down there on the batting. Roland put me 5 meters backwards and he hit it 5 meters in front of me. I was so fucking impressed. Oh, sorry, but I was so impressed. I was so impressed. Didn't matter where I was standing. 5 meters, long boundary.
Oh.
And Mason takes the long handle to the new bowler from this end, and it's pumped over mid wicket for 4.
Looking for an early finish.
He's getting into the action now. I think they've shown enough respect early. It scores quite similar actually after the first 6 overs.
Yeah, although HBS of course took a wicket of the first ball, but there was the batsman number 3 of VVV did well, hitting Ryan particularly clean over the top.
Yeah, we were saying he's a Nguptas or whatever.
Yeah, Nguptas, we looked him up. 50 first class games with an average of 40, and if you're doing that in the Ranji Trophy, you've got skill. If you're averaging 40 at first class level. So shame we weren't here on time, Piercy. You had to go back and get your phone, otherwise we would have been able to see that innings. But yeah, Ryan, it's good to...
He's originally from Pakistan.
Was it Pakistan or India?
I don't know. Could be India as well. Yeah,
I believe India. I believe India in first class.
India. You're serious. Same like the guy.
Jay Bista.
Bista.
He's playing at Hermes now.
Yeah,
he's back. He's come into the country and he played his first game last week for them. And I tell you what, when we talked about that T20 earlier, Corey, at Excelsior today, if Jay Bista gets on a run, Excelsior could be in a bit of trouble.
Interesting. He's probably one of the better overseas batsmen I've seen. He hits a hard ball, does Jay Bista.
Yeah. Going back to your question, Joe, I always appreciate just good cricketers who have seen in front of me, but Nathan Astle playing at VFC, facing Stu Roberts, and at that time Stu Roberts was close to the national squad. Nathan was just running out of his crease halfway, pulled him in front of square. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's amazing. Oh, see another nice shot. Only one though, out to the man in the deep, and that will take Teo through to 30 not out. And
I got a question for you guys.
Yeah, go for it.
Let's put down a list of a minimum of 10 players who played in the Netherlands and played international cricket.
Oh, easy.
After.
Let's
see how far we can get.
Yeah,
maybe,
absolutely. Look, I think we can do better than 10, but
yeah, I think so too.
Let Corey
let's put the list a little higher. 20.
You don't know, Ryan. Me and Pierce
20.
are cricket nuffs. We live and breathe cricket. We know everything. We watch every ball everywhere. So the question is, we need to name 20 cricket shot by Reece Mason straight to cover. 20. So we're going to try and name 20 top class cricketers that also went on to play international cricket.
Yeah.
All right, I'll start.
And say after they played in the Netherlands, or is it also allowed before?
It's allowed both ways. If they played top,
both ways.
Yeah, if you played top class,
that makes it too easy.
Oh, then I don't know the other way. Okay, I'll
let's-
start us
let's
off.
do both.
I'm going to start off with a nice little left arm off spinner, Xavier Doherty.
Who?
Xavier Doherty.
Of course.
Yeah, very good player. George Bailey, another one from
Yep.
VOC.
Yep.
There's two. Your turn. Is it just us two? Or?
No. I will add more.
Okay.
That's a good shot. That's a nice little sweep.
It's sort of a bit of a standing sweep there, but he's played a lot of hockey, Reese, and that's a gorgeous shot for four.
Moved slightly outside his off stump, picked it up.
All
And
right.
the young leg spinner.
All right, we'll continue. So we've gone Xavier Doherty, George Bailey. We'll say Nathan Astle because
Definitely.
you've said that. Piercy.
Tama Canning
Tom McKenning. Did he play international? game?
played international cricket.
The second team player of VOC?
Second
Team
team player.
McIntosh.
Tim McIntosh as well. Exactly, playing for the twos at
Scored
VOC.
about 1,500 runs playing in the
he's-
seconds. He
he's-
came,
he's
he came along
phenomenal
with
at
his
it.
mate.
I'm going to say two quick ones. Grant Elliott, obviously a stalwart here, and Shane Dietz played for Vanuatu national team. So it's a technicality.
Okay. No. I want to live to the World
Hey,
Cup squads.
that's international cricket,
We
my
had
friend.
Chris Pringle,
Yeah.
Andrea Adams.
All well bowled, and it's a drop by the keeper. Reece Mason's got a feather on it, and it's been spilt by the keeper. But go
And check
continue.
that just for the youngsters who watch this shot, this is the difference between Reese and Tyre. Tyre leans forward into the shot, and there's no reason why Reese should go through the air, but just lean into it, shoulder forward, and drive it through the covers. And that's why he edged it, because he almost fell a bit backwards almost. Okay.
Yeah, well,
Seven so far.
yeah, exactly. We've got 7, 8, 8.
I think-
Lou Vincent.
Lou Vincent, definitely.
Yeah, very good player.
Did
Played
we
it.
add Andrea Adams?
Nope, but we're about to say he played at HCC, I believe.
Yeah. Chris Pringle, of course, we
Yeah.
had.
I'm trying to think about who else you've had here.
Did the guy who played at Sparta? That was
I've got
also Mohammed Wazim. I think he played international cricket as well. It's
I've got one. Brendan Parchment played for one test for the Windies.
Is it?
Yep, played one test, and we faced him 2 years ago. So there's 11 as Teo works the ball to wide mid off.
Rob McCurdy, Australia.
Yep, 12,
Rudy Bryson, South Africa.
13, yep,
Peter McIntyre,
Yes.
leg spinner, played at VOC.
14. Geez, there's quite a long list of.
We keep going. Qasim Omar played at HBS, played for Pakistan, opened the betting.
Really?
Yes, he did.
There you go, 15.
Mole Mazumda from Mole at VOC from a VOC.
Never
I don't
played
think
for India.
he ever played for India, but he,
No, I think
unbelievable record.
Played
didn't
for the A side, maybe.
he? Yeah.
Nathan McCullum, Hermes.
Good one, that. Nathan McCullum. I just had one from HCC, and it just slipped my
Simon,
mind.
Simon Dool,
Did he play here?
HCC.
Did he really?
Mhm.
HCC with Paddy in the background telling us he played.
Another Australian?
Another Aussie. Did Cameron Delport play a game for South Africa?
No.
He's played, what, 15 franchises, but
He just played a lot of franchise cricket.
Remember, Faf du Plessis,
Yeah.
ACC.
Sorry?
Yeah. And Heino Kuhn.
Heino Kuhn,
Heino Kuhn.
Stein Van Zyl?
Stian
Yeah.
van Zyl.
Yeah.
Stiaan van Zyl.
Oh, that's about 18.
Great names.
Jeez.
Great names.
How,
that played.
Piers, how have you and I got a gig over here?
Merrick Pringle, the king of swing, played at VOC.
Jeez, there are some names. That's a wide ball and sort of miscued drive to wide extra cover.
And what I will say is if there's anyone in the group chat or anyone in the YouTube chat that's got any names as well, please throw them in there. We'd love to hear of anyone that's sort of played international cricket, anyone that's played international cricket that's played Dutch club cricket here.
I've got one. Jean Bredekamp from Quick. Played for
Namibia?
played for Namibia.
Namibia.
Interesting.
I don't think any Indian
I got some.
players.
Oh, and that's a poor shot by Reece.
And Wesley Brazey just chimed in with another one. Ed Cowan that played
Ah,
for Excelsior.
there it is. I knew it.
Excelsior. But Excelsior had more. Sean Carey,
Yes.
opening
Carey.
bowler.
We're at about 22 names here. We're blowing this
I
apart.
think Cleary didn't.
Did Michael Dydon play for Australia?
No, I don't think so.
He
Oh,
could be.
He might have
get
played.
crick info up
Yeah, Michael Dyson.
as the ball comes in here. As we're back to oh, it's high. This could be the first wicket. There's extra covers
That's
going back, and it
silly
will.
Yeah.
And Ryan, we're watching our language. We've got children watching.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
Reece Mason miscued drive. He didn't really get going today, Reece, but they've put on a partnership of 50, and there's the first wicket. VVV deserved at least one.
Yeah, Definitely.
All right,
But
let's get back to
it's
it.
a pity for Rees, and maybe I was a bit negative, but it's a pity for Rees. Did the hard work, finishing on between the 15 and 20 again.
Yep.
This time 14.
Before
Finish the job.
Before we continue with our
Reward yourself.
names, I do want to say the boy coming to the crease, Navjeet Singh, if he isn't on the radar soon, he needs to be. He will play a lot of games for the Dutch team. He is a serious
He's added
batsman.
to the selection, I heard.
Brilliant.
Because of,
It's great to hear.
If you look at his partnership under difficult circumstances with Tayo, impressive.
Oh.
And he extended his innings from 40s to 50s and bigger 50s and
Good.
60s, which is great.
He's
and
a
he's
serious
still
player.
young. He's still young.
19, 20?
Yeah, yeah.
21.
As nice, soft hands, running between wickets can be a bit
Yeah,
better.
but
Calling.
proper technique.
I'm getting a lot of names through
Okay,
here, and
th-
Wesley Barazi's chiming in again. We had another one, which was Yasir Hamid,
Yasir Hamid.
who played for Pakistan, who had a triple hundred in Test cricket.
Oh, he's played here.
He's played here. I'm also
Wade Suckham played at
Wade
Kampong,
Seacombe, yeah.
the wicket keeper. Excelsior had another one. David Houghton, Zimbabwe, played for
Dave
Quick.
Houghton, yeah.
Andy Flower, Grant Flower,
They all play here.
all
Which
play
clubs
here.
do they play for?
VCC and Quick.
The king
and
of the reverse sweep, Andy Flower,
Murray-
played here.
yeah,
Oh!
Murray Goodwin.
Murray Goodwin.
Actually, Murray was my first batting coach.
Going even further, Tim Zurer.
Oh, wow.
Kept wicket for Excelsior.
Yeah, I'm here getting a few names through. Wesley Barazi's chimed in with Gary Kirsten played here.
Of course, Gary.
And Neil McKenzie.
yeah, he did played for HCC.
Yeah.
Gee, he
Yeah.
was good.
And I'm also hearing Dirk Nanner's played club cricket here. Someone's thrown in the chat here that his son, Wedger Singer, has thrown in that Dirk Nanner's played here. I'm not sure he played club cricket, but if he did, that is another
How
great name.
Nolan Clark, one of the legends in Dutch cricket, he was 12 man for the West Indies. And Alvin Calicheran was captain. Roy Kenna was, I think,
Yeah.
captain. He said, get me a
Roy
drink.
Kenna.
He said, beep, beep. Think you are, man. You can walk yourself. You got legs, man. Get a drink yourself.
Has
He
a-
never was 12 man again. Great player.
Was it bowled full? I've got
Emerson Tropman played, of course, the Rebel Tour.
one for you. It's going to happen in 3 weeks. Sean Gomes is representing Portugal in 3 weeks.
Is it?
Yeah, I talked to the Portuguese Federation,
Ah,
and he's
okay.
Portuguese, so he will be an international cricketer in 3
Yeah,
weeks.
but then Tony Barker played for Spain, of PUC.
That counts, mate.
Definitely.
That counts.
Definitely.
Pierce Fletcher, how are you and I in the top class, and we are nowhere near this level?
The thing about this, well, you're speaking to the chairman that brought us here, mate. I tell you what, it's an absolutely wonderful afternoon here. The sun is properly out. It is
need to go on
beating.
the
Basically, it's interesting to see that Navjeet is playing the leg spinner on more of his back foot than his front foot.
And I think this leg spin has bowled particularly well here.
Yeah, it's
Hardly
good.
missed. I mean, there's a sweep off
Okay,
from
who
Reece
else?
Mason.
Wesley Barazi, come on, more names. Anyone else?
Jonathan
Suggestions?
Trott, I'm being shouted in
Jonathan
the
Trott,
background.
of course, played at HBS. Did he really? Yeah, he did.
It's funny, we're getting a lot of names through here. But again, no run taken. Senior Pro is turning around. Just trying to think about who else.
So if anyone's just joined us, we're naming international cricketers that have played top class cricket. We've named about 30 to 35, I reckon.
Yeah.
We're starting to stretch out our minds a little bit more.
Do we miss any countries? Not from England. I
Name me
think.
clubs. I think it's easier to go around clubs and thinking of clubs. Like, does a Bloomingdale? Has a Bloomingdale
Yeah,
gotten
they
a
had a
big
guy,
player in?
Australian guy, McLennan, but he never played for Australia. Oh, Ryan Tenduskaten.
Oh, yeah. Tendo, we all love him. That counts. That's short and edged and pretty.
Oh, that's 4.
The old Sydney Harbour, we like to call that's gone under him, and that's gone for 4. That's snuck away for 4, and that's going to take the total to 55. Okay,
You
back
call
to
that
it.
the Sydney Harbour?
Yeah, it's
Or
called
was
it-
this the Sydney Harbour Bridge?
Yeah, that's
That's
what we
why
call it.
you-
So it's a Sydney Harbour Bridge when a fielder dives over the ball like that. Pierce Fletcher's known for a couple. Who else we got, Ryan? As we go through the cricket almanac of... Let's have a think. Anyone that's listening, please send in.
Matthews of Excelsior, I think, never played for Australia. Yeah, Ed Cowan, gee.
Ed
Good
Cowan's a good
cricketer.
name. He's a hell of a cricketer.
And a lot of these, especially for looking at the New Zealand guys, they played for New Zealand after they played in the Netherlands. Stu Roberts, of course, played.
Yeah.
I've just seen one come up here. I had a look at the stats. I'm doing a little bit of cheating, but I like where we're going with this. But Craig Cumming, he played for
VRA.
VRA.
Yeah, excellent play. Oh, Fulton,
Peter Fulton played for
red
Red
and
and White.
white. Colin Miller.
Yeah.
Red and white. See, the clubs
Yeah,
were
there you go.
existing.
Yeah, the clubs. You got
And
to.
you just sometimes need a
Yeah,
little
Colin
kick up the
Miller.
backside to remember what names are.
And that's lovely play. A little soft touch in the backward point for a single. So I reckon we're up to 40. We've succeeded. Can we get to 50? 10 to go. Let's name 10 more, and we've got a W.
As Red and white, I think also had some interest in it.
Shane Snyder? No.
Yeah, but looking at the South African of the Kiwi, Richards, Barry Richards played down there.
Yeah?
Yeah, but they weren't allowed to play due to apartheid.
So in comes the bowler again, and outside off and driven straight to mid-on. As we've heard some good words, Rob van Oostrom's gone to go get the gold liquid. And it says 47 degrees here. I've worn jeans. I don't know why I've worn
No, but
jeans.
this is a nice context, and it's nice for the viewers to get involved as well, because there will definitely be players we miss at the moment.
100%. And I've just had another look on the top run scorers list, and one of them is here is Lee Jamon.
Lee Jamon,
Lee
wicketkeeper
Jamon.
of New Zealand.
Yeah, played for
Red and white as well.
Yeah, and another one was
he
Shannon.
captained the World Cup in
He
'96.
did, yeah, debut game, and his first ever game for New Zealand, he captained New Zealand.
Yeah.
I know, ridiculous stat.
George
Yeah.
Bailey did that as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
unbelievable.
They didn't have because he wasn't captain in his province, I think.
Nope.
So he didn't have a.
No,
It was just
wasn't
sort of the mid-time after Martin Crowe.
We've got one coming through a viewer as well, AVS 007, David Visa.
David Wiese.
Dosti,
Gee.
interesting fact about him, he's just pledged his allegiance to Namibia today, and his dad was born in Namibia. He'll be going for Namibia in the T20 qualifiers. What a huge in for the country. That's a huge in.
That's
That's
awesome.
serious.
That's great news. I just found another one, which is Shannon Stewart, who played, I think, about 4 ODIs for New Zealand against Bangladesh. It's quite phenomenal.
Where did he
Played
play
Hermes in 2009.
Ah.
Yeah. Funny how you just see so many players that have just come over.
Yeah, and I think at Dosti or at Gandhi in the past, they had some international. Lyndon Joseph, I don't know whether.
That's a lovely
Awesome
shot
guy.
for a single through mid-on. Let's
Lyndon
think,
Joseph,
West
did he
Indian
ever
cricketers.
play- Yeah, Lyndon Joseph played for Dosti. Don't know whether he ever played.
I reckon there's a few that are-
Tyrone Greenwich played for Quick.
And I reckon there's still a few that will represent. I think Teo's going to play national cricket for somebody. I think Bryce Street, who we saw from HC last year, he's now dominating for Queensland. He'll play internationals.
Played at Bloemendaal. David White.
David White.
David White. Hamilton.
Yeah,
It's-
New Zealand
he's-
New Zealand cricket CEO.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a big man now.
Yeah, he's the big dog.
Yeah.
He is the big dog, that's for sure.
I think more New Zealand guys have played in Netherlands.
Yeah, quite a lot. Is it
Yeah.
more New Zealanders than Aussies, you think?
Yeah, definitely. The most clubs did get guys from New Zealand, and I think
Oh.
Excelsior was one of the first clubs who got the majority of their coaches came from Australia.
Heino Kun,
Hannah Kuhn we had.
Tim David, Singapore, came over this year, played one game.
Quick.
For,
Yeah.
One came for Quick,
Yeah.
later, now he's playing for Surrey. And I tell you what, Rutt, he made 140 off 70 balls earlier this week for Surrey in a 50-over game. Chased it down in 40 overs.
I'm not surprised he made runs for quick then. You've got Kruger Van Wyk.
Yeah.
Van Wyk.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's
New Zealand.
Wesley Baracey sent that in. Thank you, Wesley. I hope you're enjoying all the live coverage here at HBS.
And this leg spinner's bowled very well. I just want to
Shot.
say that in between because
You see
he
that's-
does deserve a few plaudits. I think there could be a run out on here. No. But
Yeah.
there's so many great names that have played here, haven't
Yeah, we might have to look back into the 80s. There were several players as well during the 80s, 90s who played down here. Maybe at HCC, I think we got a lot of the guys from HCC. Nah, there might have been, I don't know whether Gary Language or they had an opening batsman, I think, for a couple of years as well at HCC.
And that's
That
well
was
run straight to mid-off and well run from Navi and Teo. Sorry to
before
interrupt you,
Gary
Ryan.
Kirsten, before Gary Kirsten.
There's a big moment happening here, and I don't care how many names we say. Robert Van Oostrom is bringing over a jug with 4 cups.
I tell you what, this is the real reason why I actually came to Harvey yesterday, to have a nice ice cold pot, sitting on the sideline talking a whole lot of classic cricket.
Did you have the full list of historic amount of runs? Peter Cantrell played for
Peter,
Queensland, but he
Peter
never
Cantrell
played
was
for
on there, but
Australia.
never played for Australia. But
No.
played for Holland though. But he was.
Such a good player.
I got told he's probably one of the most amazing batters, just mind over matter.
But I prefer the top 10 countries.
Oh yeah, I know what
And
you
of
mean.
course we had
We've
the
had
Dutch,
plenty
the
of,
top 10 quite-
plenty of great
English,
names.
No English players, I think.
No, I wouldn't
No
think so.
English.
Except from Jonathan Trott.
I think. So say Jonathan
Well, that's
Trott-
still a pretty big
Yeah,
name.
yeah,
It
you had
is,
Gra-
it
you had
is.
Graham.
Kenny
You had
Jackson's
Graham Wagg come and play here for us.
stepbrother.
You had Graham Wagg come and play here. He
Yeah.
never played for England,
Yeah.
but
No, yeah.
Quality county performer.
Shot 4 runs through the covers of Najit.
That's an unbelievable shot as the total moves to 63 and 7 more to end off this lovely T20 in the sun here today. We'll stick with it. We're still trying to name cricketers that have played
Bailey
in...
was an excellent player.
George?
And Doherty as well at VOC.
Oh, they were World Cup winners. I mean, winning a World Cup for Australia is the epitome as an Australian cricketer.
At Excelsior, that Mark, what is it? Cleary?
Yeah.
Great player.
I can't believe it.
And I think there's another guy who played for HCC and played for VRA as well. All-rounder. Australian guy. Awesome player. Greg Cummin, of course. He played so many... Murray?
Which club did he play for?
VRA. Darren Murray.
Darren Murray.
Shane Thompson.
Shane Thompson.
Yes,
Wow,
definitely.
that's a hell of a name
He could
from
have
New
played for
Zealand.
Belgium. He was living in Belgium. But
Yeah.
Shane Thompson.
Yeah.
CC Cumming, of
Yeah.
course. Darren Murray. And we had David Murray, the former West Indian captain, or wicketkeeper, played in the Netherlands late 70s, I think.
I still can't believe you said Andy Flower. Growing up, for me, he was heaven. He swept everything. Reverse, he's a hell of a player. He played here. Who did he play for?
Yeah, he swept Alan Donald.
Oh,
Down
mate,
on
he was
his
a
knee.
freak. Who did he play for over here?
VCC.
He must have raked it.
Yeah,
He's a
scored a
number
lot of
one in the
runs.
world test batsman for 2
Yeah,
years.
he didn't sweep at that stage, but when we played him in the 1990 ICC final at the HCC,
Yeah.
he did.
So
he
what?
did. He played the sweep shot, David Houghton.
I've got one for you, right? Why? We've just named 40 exceptionally talented cricketers. How do they end up in Holland, do you think? Of all places, is it better money than going to England club cricket? Or like, how does someone
I
of
think that some of them really earned nice bucks. And at that stage, he only had one club, or one coach at the club.
Okay.
And sometimes you have somebody who like to invest in a certain player and maybe even
Bit of
avoid-
private
to avoid
sponsorship.
relegation or to buy a championship.
Yeah.
And some of the other guys, nice holiday.
Yeah,
See
okay.
something of Europe. It
Different.
wasn't that in certain periods it wasn't as common as today that you travel long distance, and we had a nice connection with New Zealand, of course. And you know what happens if one guy from New Zealand is coming and he said, "Oh, that's nice. In the Netherlands, you do a bit of coaching, you do play, and it's a nice circumstances and friendly people. Okay, I might be interested as well." And it were in those years, 80s, 90s, 2000s, it was personal contacts. We didn't have any
Yeah, you didn't have agents, did you?
or whatever. So especially with the guys from New Zealand or from Australia as well. Yeah, when Ed Cowan came, he introduced Excelsior to somebody else. So the next one came. And ACC had a nice connection with the South African Lions. What is it? East London.
Yeah.
Plenty of players came from New
From
Zealand.
Highveld, yeah.
Kuhn, Faf du Plessis. Why did Faf du Plessis come over to the Netherlands? But he enjoyed himself. And next one was Heino Kuhn, also international player. They just enjoyed themselves at a nice little club in Amsterdam, see the rest of the Netherlands, play a bit of cricket. And the interesting thing is that I think the majority was, surprised by the level in the Netherlands. And as you can see, we produced or developed their talents and career.
Well, you
Plenty,
can't.
because, well, interesting comment. They always said in the Netherlands we don't play on grass, so we can't develop our game. And if you see how many international players they played down here and developed their game, maybe on matting or on artificial, it also made them better players, maybe even on grass or tough grass wickets.
I think when you look at it, at the end of the day, Ryan, it's runs are runs. It doesn't matter where you make them. It's the ability to make them and make them consistently. And it doesn't matter, especially for those pros, it's important for them, that they're putting scores on the board every week. So they have to find a way. And, okay, well, it might not be suitable to play on a coconut matting.
I know another
You
one.
find a way. Go for it.
I found another player.
Yeah.
Lon Howell,
Lorne Howell. Yeah.
HCC.
Yeah. Left-hand bat? Right-hand bat.
Right-hand.
Right-hand bat?
Right-hand bat. And I think when he played down here, he received a bonus when he scored about 600 runs. When we played the innings down here, they scored not more than 60, and he was 60 not out and got his bonus.
Yeah, well played. Hey, look. Would have been a great catch. It was.
Final runs for HBS. Hard hit from Tayo Walber towards backward point, but he couldn't hold on the fielder at backward point. Was it maybe a deserved second wicket for VCC?
I think so. I think they've tried really hard. I think with a score of 69 on the board here at HBS, which is known to be a quick scoring ground, and I appreciate it's not as quick as it was, but you know, for a team in the Topklasse, which is sitting 6th in that league, to put up, I think, quite a competitive effort here. I mean, it's taken them 12 overs. Well, it's going to come into the 13th over before they get this score. I think it's been a really good effort. And I think that leg spinner bowled very, very well. And again, that young seamer from the far end also very good little spell. So
Ron Howell, just a small funny story. We played the Hong Kong Sixes.
Ooh,
that was
chaos.
Chaos and great. Brian Lara came into the dressing room, and all the countries were in the same dressing room, and there was of course a fridge with beer and everything. First we had the opening ceremony, the first year we were there in 2004, and Steve Atkinson played for Hong Kong but also played for the Netherlands. He was our team manager, he lived in Hong Kong, and he said, I have a good idea. Let's I'll buy some oranges, and we do that when we do the opening ceremony, and all the countries were walking on the field like the Olympics. With somebody in front, and and we were just in front of Australia, and we held bags full of oranges, and we threw them into the crowd, 6,000 people.
As you do.
And we didn't see, but after 2 minutes we heard some noise behind us because the crowd were throwing them back to the Australians.
That's
but
so good.
The next year, because the idea was nice, the next year they every country got some soft, funny white and red little balls which you had to throw into the crowd. So the idea was great, but the oranges wasn't as great as they expected.
No.
But we went out at night. Famous place in Hong Kong was Joe Bananas, and all the guys were down there. Merv Hughes, Robin Smith, and somebody just grabbed me by the throat, and I really didn't do anything. Because I never had an argument in a bar or anything.
I'm going to hold you there for a second, Ryan, because we're going to see this ball.
Within 2 seconds, Ron Howell, Robin Smith, and some other guys were on top of that guy who grabbed me.
Love it.
Love it. So we're 1 run away here. Navjeet Singh on strike. And it's been a wonderful afternoon. And whilst we've not had maybe the full exciting game that we might have hoped for, I think we've had a lot of fun, especially in this last half an hour. Just naming some phenomenal cricketers that have played here in the Netherlands. But thanks to Rob and Ryan for having us in. And yeah, a lot of fun, guys.
Awesome, guys, to have you around. Great commentary. Always great polls and questions. Thanks,
absolutely. And here it is. And there's the winning runs for HBS. It has been a pleasure coming back. And Navi smacks it through the offside. They'll just settle for the one. It's actually pretty well fielded. It won't go to the boundary. But HBS, another T20 win. They'll move into the quarterfinals, topping their group. And we'll wait to see who they play in the quarterfinal.
And where are the finals, guys?
Finals day are at the mighty VOC this year.
At the mighty VOC. I thought a grass wicket. It was at Excelsior in the past, VCC, and now VOC. That's great.
I tell you what, if we're there and we've got the commentary up, you two are welcome to come join us again.
Absolutely. Thanks very much. If you still have suggestions about international players who played in the Netherlands,
you got commentary all day tomorrow, I think, for
commentary
the 50
all day
game,
tomorrow.
So
I will be playing at VOC tomorrow.
Oh, well,
I'm back to the twos. No, I'm in the ones tomorrow.
Are you in the ones?
Sorry, mate.
Oh, you scored 100.
Yeah, stop it, right. I'm gonna.
Thanks, Corey.
That's me done.
Thanks, Corey. Good luck, Piers.
Thanks,
you're playing HCC tomorrow.
HCC tomorrow.
Yeah, it's an interesting.
Must-win
Make
game.
sure it's not slippery out there.
Hey, look, if I fall over, you'll know why.
All right, cheers,
Thanks,
guys, and thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Good fun, boys. Oh, jeez, it is hot.
Thanks, mate.
Oh
Appreciate
my word. Why did I wear jeans? That was good fun, man. That was funny.
Phenomenal. Yeah, it's so good.